It's Friday afternoon, which means it's time for your favorite comedy talk show, The Random Kristian Show. Today, The Random Kristian Show is interviewing the Reverend Jimmie Bratcher. The Random Kristian Show is brought to you by Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena. 3 unique blended salsas made with fresh cilantro and just the right amount of heat. To find a store near you, just visit mrsafamous.com. The Random Kristian Show is proudly supported by The Advisor. Created by Colonel James Neil Broaddus, this Facebook group is a great resource and network for creatives. Contact them on Facebook at The Advisor. The Random Kristian Show can now be seen and heard on the Rabbit and Red Radio Network. Check them out at rabbitandredradio.com. Intro music provided by The Dead Campers. Check them out on Spotify or at deadcampers.com. Are you looking to add your logo or design to apparel, banners, or other promotional products? Check out Creative Coatings KC for all your branding needs. You can find them online at creativecoatingskc.com. Like what you hear? Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to get notifications when we go live. Now, coming to you live from the Watertown, South Dakota Best Western Inn, Kristian Random.
Yes! We're live from Watertown, baby. Yeah! That's how we roll. We take it on the road and represent. So
That's right. The world tour of the Random Kristian Show starts in Watertown, South Dakota.
yes. Because when you think of starting off the world tour, where else but right
everybody, all the big tours start in Watertown, South Dakota.
Pretty much. I bet, except, well, maybe Jimmie's going to start off in Watertown.
Yeah, I don't know. Has Jimmie ever been to Watertown? That's a question. That's our first question.
And does he remember it? Because
right.
if you do the 80 miles an hour according to the interstate, you really can miss it pretty fast.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's a blink and you miss it off ramp. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you happen to stop, then you never leave.
Yeah.
And we've come to the realization that Watertown, South Dakota is the actual Hotel California of the U.S.
Yes.
It's once you check in, you can't never leave.
Yeah.
So, which apparently is what's keep happening to me. So
right.
I keep saying, okay, I'll be out and I'm checking out, and they're like, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. That's fine. Yeah. Oh, welcome back, Mr. Madsen. Yeah. I just left. It's like the never-ending Twilight Zone.
You walk out the door and you're just walking back into the lobby.
it's complete, yeah. Like you just hit a revolving door and you're like, wait a minute, I was just outside, I swear. And I come in and I don't have my suitcase. It's already still unpacked in my room. And but fortunately, this time they knew my age and
that's
put me
good.
in the old man handicapped room.
Oh, right.
So I have the walk-in shower, so I don't have to trip over anything. And
nice. Aptly renamed the Kristian Madsen Suite.
Yes, it is. The Kristian Madsen Executive Luxury Suite.
Right.
Yeah. So hey, well, welcome to it. We are on the road and out and about. So if you're in Watertown, heyo, love you guys. Let me leave this time, please. I have a flight on Tuesday. I'd really like to go back home, see my wife. Just the little things in life.
Right.
Because she's not coming up here.
No.
she's told me it's not going to happen.
Yeah, no, well, because then she'll never be able to leave.
Then we're really stuck here.
You need somebody on the outside.
Unless she leaves the dog, then we have that out.
But the dog's not going to come get you.
No, but we could, maybe trick the Hotel Watertown, California thing.
You're trying to play the place that's keeping you in town.
Just trying to reach. It's a very nice place, and they they really want me to go home,
Yeah.
and I someday will, as far as I can use my hand signals to gesture to
Yeah.
whoever.
Blink twice if you need
I'm
help, Kristian.
I'm so enjoying being here longer than I need to be. So, anyway, no, hey, it's great town, it's good people, it's a good time. But I do miss home. So
Yeah.
anytime you're ready to let me go out the door, that'd be awesome. But no, yeah, we're very excited. Jimmie Bratcher, the Reverend Jimmie Bratcher, faith blues rocker, just came off. He did a big show last night out in Knuckleheads in Kansas City, which is if y'all ever come to Kansas City and get a chance to see a show at Knuckleheads, go do it, especially if Jimmy's playing. But it's a great fun venue. Just a good time. Have a couple different, I think there's two or three different stages that you can see shows at there. And it's a great club, awesome place.
Nice.
And we are so we got some big news coming up for Mr. Bratcher and for you at home as well. And I know I look kind of weird because I'm looking at a screen and I'm trying to look at the camera.
It's okay.
Yeah, I'm
We
on an
get it.
iPad.
Yeah,
So,
the system's off.
of course, the people who are listening to this later, they don't care.
They
So
don't care. They don't see us not looking at them.
they're like the residents of Watertown. This doesn't really matter. You're stuck here with us. So it's all good. But yeah, so Andrew,
Yeah,
thank you for joining us and being
of
a part
course.
of the show. I'm so glad to have you here with us. If you ever want to come visit Watertown, let me know. I've got a great
I would
place for
love
you to
to
stay.
see Watertown. Like I honestly, to hear you talk about it, it is a place that I would love to see and visit, and even stay at the wonderful Best Western.
Best Western Inn and Suites. Yeah,
Right? No,
yeah.
great hotel, wonderful staff, nice people. But it seems like a wonderful place to visit.
They have a pool, indoor pool with a big old water slide, and it's
Yeah,
a good time.
that's
And
good.
a
That's good
jacuzzi.
for the kids.
Yeah.
In a town with a lot
Kids.
of casino pubs, seems
Yeah,
great for the kids.
it's you would think that, but after several cocktails, adults tend to enjoy it as well.
Oh, I'm no, I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time. It's a good town and it's a good time, and we really enjoy our stay. So, all right. So, and I'm on the hotel Wi-Fi, so maybe we should
Hey,
really progress the show a
let's keep
little
our fingers
quicker.
crossed that connectivity stays, that no one in another room decides to download any nefarious content
Yeah,
and kick you off.
right. All of a sudden,
Right. Yeah.
so without further ado, we have, I think we have a random nine list
We
that
do have a random 9 list.
I've been looking forward to this for 2 weeks. 2 weeks I've been waiting while I've been stuck in a hotel.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
and
so
yes, I don't have my studio, so we don't have the soundboard for the
no,
drum
it's
roll.
okay. Yeah, so yeah, you hit the post in your head. There you go.
I, that's right. And I enjoy my bottled water of Aquafina.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um so as most of the as most of everybody knows, this weekend is Easter.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is the weekend of ultimate giving and sacrifice from the Lord Jesus Christ and saving us from our sins. But Andy has further news about Easter weekend.
That's correct. I actually tasked our random 9 writing group with finding 9 random facts. about Easter?
Our sixth grade advanced crack
Yeah.
team.
um. So, number 9, drum roll. The Easter Bunny actually predates Christianity and comes from Germany.
Huh? What?
Apparently, the Easter Bunny was a figure in Germany prior to Christianity being Christianity.
I'm not sure I really agree with that.
I didn't fact check any of these, so these are all new to me. So
So we're getting this from CNN.
right, exactly, yeah.
Uh,
Random fact number 8.
wait, no, not number 9. How is the Easter? So,
Well, hold on. Okay, well, you know what? We'll fact check this one. We're gonna fact check this.
yeah,
Right?
that's right. I'm the Easter Bunny, and you will enjoy Easter and chocolate eggs. Now
Okay.
go out and hide them in the bushes.
All right. So, the idea of and wait, hold on. No, here we go. All right.
Germany wasn't even around before Christianity. I mean, there was a landmass where Germany ended up being developed, but
Okay. All right. All right. So, all right. So this first random fact is debunked. Okay. So the Easter Bunny tradition does have roots in German folklore, but it was definitely established that it doesn't predate Christianity. There's a strong association between rabbits and spring fertility in different cultures, including Germany. The Easter Bunny, as we know it, emerged later with German immigrants bringing it into tradition into the United States in the 1700s. So there's our edited random fact, number 9 about
and
Easter.
and we are hiding our eggs that might be landmines. You never know.
Right.
Yeah,
So it is the tradition from Germany is called Osterhaus. Okay.
totally.
And that involves a rabbit who would lay eggs for children who were good. And the children would prepare nests for Osterhaus to lay eggs in.
So Easter Bunny's a little bit of Satan.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
little devil egg laying bunny.
So there's
my convenient.
our edited number 9 Easter fact.
Edited and re-edited for
yeah.
your convenience.
Number 8. Cadbury produces about 1.2 million cream eggs every day, and a dozen of Cadbury cream eggs are currently cheaper than regular eggs.
And far more delicious.
And far more delicious. Yeah, I used to have a hard-boiled egg every morning. Now I'm having a Cadbury cream egg, and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, right. Which also explains our cholesterol rates. But
That's
yeah.
right. That's true. Yeah.
Wah, 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 wah. See, I'm a living soundboard.
Yes. Oh no, perfect.
Okay. Number 7.
Number 7 in Australia. Okay, in Australia, the Easter bilby replaces the Easter bunny to help raise awareness about endangered species.
So down under there is really no Easter
There's an
bunnies.
Easter bilby.
It's just a giant PSA for endangered species. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Australians are pretty boring.
It's but they can do what they want. They're their own island,
Yeah, and it's all the Fosters.
Yeah, that's true.
And probably kangaroos, because kangaroos are mean.
Yeah.
They'll beat the crap out of you.
Yeah.
So.
Number 6. Public dancing is actually prohibited on Good Friday in Germany. But we're sending Kevin Bacon there to fix that.
USA, USA, USA. Yeah, screw those Germanic bastard non-dancing freaks. But now it's the time on Sprockets when we dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Me and you are probably the only ones that get that reference.
Probably. Yeah. You know what? I'm sure there's some of our audience get the Sprockets reference. I just love that when they did the arm.
And that's happy as a little girl.
Uh,
All right. Number 5.
so apparently the discovery of Easter Island by a Dutch explorer was actually happened on Easter Sunday, which is why they named it Easter Island.
Well, now see, that's a relevant fact.
Isn't it?
And there's something more to it, isn't there?
No, that's it.
Oh.
That's all I got for that one. Yeah.
I was really kind of building. I was like,
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, sorry for the letdown there. That was yeah.
well, there we go, Andy. All right, I guess we'll just move on to number 4.
Number
Quattro.
4. The practice of decorating eggs actually started in the Ukraine.
Okay.
I mean, nothing more there either.
Well, the Ukrainians are very artistic people, and also a war-torn country right now. But hey,
Yeah.
That's something that we can all look forward to once they finish making a mess of everything over there. And
That's very true. Yeah. Yeah.
and if Russia takes it over, they'll be nesting Easter eggs.
Right.
Keep finding more Easter eggs. Anyway, all right. Sorry. Okay, moving on. All right,
No,
okay.
that's okay. So number 3. Apparently 70% of people eat the ears off of their chocolate bunny first. I, however, like to cut mine off with a knife and then dance around it to Stuck in the Middle with You.
Two little Reservoir Dogs.
Right, exactly. Little Jerry Rafferty, Yeah.
And then yelling to him, "Can you hear me?
Right.
Yeah. What? Sorry. I'm sure the people out in my hallway here are like,
oh no, they're loving it. There. Right. Yeah. You're gonna get a complaint. You're gonna get a knock at the door and a complaint. Mr. Matt.
Yeah. I don't care. After the other night with the screaming kids running up and down the hallway at 10:30
yeah.
in the evening.
Yeah. All right.
So
I'm sure they don't care. I'm sure they don't care that you're talking like Pee Wee Herman at 4:00 on a Friday.
Yeah, in the afternoon. But I may just stay up late, replay this whole thing very loudly.
There you go. I like it.
Walking up and down the hallway. Oh, listen to my podcast. Listen to my podcast. Okay, sorry.
That's okay.
Where are we at?
Number 2. In Switzerland, Easter eggs are delivered by the Easter cuckoo.
I was gonna say, is he on skis too?
I probably, yeah.
With hot cocoa,
right, and cheese.
Because he's cuckoo.
Yes. Yeah.
It's an Easter cuckoo, so that would explain the Easter eggs from the cuckoo bird.
Yes.
Or is it just a clock that propels them out of you?
Cuckoo. Every 60 seconds, just pops out and throws an egg at you. That would be great. We need to make that. Yeah.
We're calling the patent on it right now.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm calling people right now. There. Patent pending. Done.
Yeah.
And okay. Ready for number 1?
Number 1. Okay. So Easter, as we know, doesn't have a set date, right? Which,
Okay.
if it does deal with the resurrection of Jesus Christ, don't you think that they would know the date that he actually came back, and therefore we would celebrate that every year? But I guess the records weren't good back then, so they're just saying, oh, it was like April-ish
Yeah,
that he came back. So we'll just, we're gonna do it this time this year, that time next year. It just doesn't it seem a little weird that there wasn't a date lockdown for this?
that was the
Like,
pagans that screwed
no,
it
man,
up.
he came back on April 20th.
No,
Hey,
that's the pagans. It's like they screwed up all the
April
Christmas
20th.
and everything too.
There he is. He's back April 20th. Every
Yeah.
year from now on, April 20th, we will celebrate. I just think, don't you think it's weird?
I
So this is so I
oh, my pastor's gonna be calling me.
so so uh my family grew up Eastern Orthodox. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
And so this is one of the weird years that Orthodox Easter falls on the same day that traditional Easter falls on.
Ah.
Typically it's like a week or 2 weeks later, which, like, when Jesus did resurrect, like, he came back to the to the regulars first, and then Eastern Orthodox, oh, I'll get you guys in a couple weeks.
Well, yeah, it's in Revelations when this is
I-
all everything lining up.
right.
So
Yeah, I know. But it's
um,
weird that there's no set date for Easter.
no,
It's just
it's not
weird.
weird. It was different calendars back then.
I think that doesn't matter. Like,
Not a Gregorian calendar. It was the
so on New Year's Day, that's easy to set.
it's
Christmas,
the beginning of the year. Yeah.
Christmas.
That's also a pagan screw up. So
Okay, all right. So
yeah.
we're taking Easter as an arbitrary date as a win. For,
It's like President's Day. You never really know exactly where it's going to be anymore.
well,
And how did, Abraham Lincoln and, we had Abraham Lincoln and Washington Day, and now it's just smushed into President's Day. The man who helped free the slaves and the forefather of our country. They're like, yeah, we'll just give you a day.
yeah,
Other people get months. The gay
right.
community gets a whole month, and whatever. But these great people, just a day. Veterans, people who saved us in World War II and all that. There's a day. That's
There's a
fine.
day. Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know who needs a day? Or you know who needs a month?
no.
No, Mrs. A is famous.
Oh, Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena day, week, month, the year.
Yeah,
The year of the Salsa Buena.
there we go. I think
I'm thinking that would be a fantastic thing because as our sponsor, Mrs. A's famous Salsa Buena, made by Miss Leah Aguayo, is spreading rapidly through the country. That's right. It's starting from the West Coast. It's made it all the way down to the Rockies and moving further and beyond and expanding their flavors. They've got the original. Uh, they've got the salsa verde, and they've got the hot. And now they also are coming out with pineapple mango and oh damn it, Andy, remind me of the
delicious.
red delicious. Why can't I not remember the red delicious? You know why? Because I haven't had a chance to taste it yet.
That's
That's
true.
why.
Yeah.
And we will be getting samples and we will be trying them right here on this show.
Can't
That's right.
wait.
Not
I
live
can't
from Watertown though. It'll be live in Kansas City or somewhere beyond Watertown, hopefully no further north of Watertown. But that being said, Mrs. A's famous salsa buena. You can find it in all sorts of different stores all throughout the West and the Rockies. If you just ask, if you can't find it, ask your grocer for it. It's in the refrigerated section because that's how they keep it fresh and they
Yeah.
keep it delicious. And you gotta try the salsa verde. Oh, yeah. Um, and they are expanding. You can look at stores at Sprouts. Hey, Mark Sowersby right there. And you know, I'll bet. And happy Good Friday to you, sir. Very, very much so. We he rose on the first day of the week after Passover. There you go, Andrew.
So see, all right,
Thank you, Mark, for the clarification.
we just needed Mark.
He's a
Thank you, Mark.
pastor. He
That's
knows
true.
he's a pastor.
That's true.
Yeah, Andy's just being sacrilege. It's
I am
fine.
the last person that should be commenting on Easter not having a day, by the way.
It was you know, developed by it was the crack sixth grade squad put all that info
Exactly.
together. So
Right. Yeah.
we're
They're
good
just
with it.
upset that they don't have any days off. Like,
Oh, that's what it is.
yeah.
You gotta go to school afterwards. Oh, man. But no, hey, back to Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena, our lovely sponsor. They are expanding their distribution. Look for them in Sprouts. There's several different stores all around. So ask for it by name, Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena, or you can go to mrsafamous.com. You can get recipes. You can find out where they're at, where they're going to be, and you know, everything you need to know. And hey, they've got merch now. They've got
Yeah.
shirts and hats, and especially if you like the tie-dye stuff,
Oh
that's the
yeah.
place
And
to
check
go. All right.
our past shows. She's cooked amazing meals on some of our past shows.
Oh
And
yeah, and
they're
she's coming
easy.
up with some more.
Yeah, low ingredient, easy to make, and we obviously are not there when she cooks them, so we get incredibly jealous that all this
Yeah,
great food gets made, and only
we're gonna
her.
remedy that one day here
Yeah,
soon.
one day I think we got to do a show straight from her kitchen.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll have to figure out how to reconvene over there and just do a live show
Yeah,
from. She's got crappy internet though, so it
we'll
must be Spectrum.
hey, you're flying on crappy internet right now, so I think we're okay.
We'll make it happen. Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena. Find them in your refrigerated section. 3 different flavors. They're delicious. Go buy Mrs. A's Famous Salsa Buena. Find it at mrsafamous.com. And there is our advertisement portion of the show. And we are very excited because, put Andy in a bunny suit. It had to be Travis.
All right.
It has to be Travis. Yeah. Yeah, it's just going to get weird if we keep
Yeah.
delving into that. But you know what's not weird?
What?
Blues,
Yeah.
rock,
Yeah.
faith in God, and the man who puts all that together in a fantastic style. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show our good friend, the Reverend Jimmie Bratcher. Hey-o!
Thank you very much.
Oh, whoa! And throwing a little Elvis in there, baby. Thank you.
That's right.
Oh
Well,
man, yeah, you are a busy man. Now, you just had a show last night
that's right.
uh,
Yeah,
out at Knuckleheads, rocked it out, filled the packed house, I'm sure.
it was
Uh,
good. Yeah,
and you are getting now your tour that you're going to be starting here. Oh my gosh, I had the name somewhere written down on my little sheets of paper. What's the name of your tour again?
the transformation tour.
Transformation Tour. There it is.
Yeah, we do it every
Uh,
year. It's an annual event. So
Yeah, and it's starting off in May,
yeah, it
and
does.
you're going to be not. You have a show right before you do the Mother's Day show, correct?
Yeah, I have a couple of events in Lansing at the prison in Lansing. The first one's May 7th,
Okay.
and that's like it's an actual car show, believe it or not,
Oh wow.
Oh,
and a food event. So they'll be feeding. It's at the minimum security prison, and those guys. It's important for us to do those because those guys don't get a lot of love. So
Yeah.
yeah.
we're we're engaged with those fellas as much as we possibly can. So we start there, and then on the 10th, we're in Chillicothe, Missouri, at the Women's Correctional Center there, and that's the day before Mother's Day. And this will
Right.
be our third year of being in that prison. But this is a much bigger, larger event. We've done these types of events for a long time, but they are actually letting us do a yard event. And we found a secret to get every person in prison to come out to one of our events. And that is, if you show up in prison with food that ain't prison food, everybody's showing up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
In fact,
And you're
the
feeding
first
the whole facility.
Yeah, we're feeding 1,800 people, staff,
Good.
all the inmates, everybody. So, but the first
That's
time I
amazing.
ever had prison food was at that prison. This was back in, I don't know, it was a long time ago. And we were standing in line, and Sherry, my wife, turns to me and she goes, "I wonder what we're having for lunch." And the inmate in front of me turns around, overhearing it, and she turns around and with this really grim look on her face goes, "It's the hash from hell." And it definitely was. But
Wow.
yeah, my daughter Jessica, who we have a story together with her because we didn't meet her until she was 38 years old in 2011.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And a big old story. We wrote a book about it called The Little Girl Wins. But Jessica's flying back. The band will be there. We bring our whole crew, production, everything in, and we set up on the yard. And then depending on how it works, we'll see everybody except those that are in segregation. But
Yeah.
we will have 1,600 plus staff easy at that event. So we have 5 events like that this summer. We presently have about 24 events on the books right now, and we're adding more daily as we talk about that. So it's a great thing. So my whole statistical spiel is there's 2.4 million people incarcerated in America. And that's equal the population of Houston, Texas.
Oh, wow.
97% of them will be released. 76% of them will reoffend. But if an inmate attends one faith-based program while incarcerated, the rate of return drops to 24% from
Wow.
76%. And some programs, they're seeing results as few as 2%. And
Wow.
and so the gospel, works.
Yeah.
Transformation is possible. Rehabilitation helps, but it's not really doing it. And if we're going to do something about crime, it has to start in the heart of the criminal. And
Yeah.
I tell these guys all the time when I'm in prison, I'll be speaking and I'll say, your best thinking or your best believing brought you here. I mean, what you thought was the solution to your problem, you believe that what you were doing was the solution to your problem. And that has to change. And
Yeah.
that's possible.
Oh, yeah. Especially, you put Christ in your life and you're going to see all sorts of changes. Some you ain't going to like either, but they're all for, hey, I'll tell you, I've been on that end of the stick, so
Yeah.
I know.
If you got kids, you understand that. You have to discipline them when it's not pleasant. And
Right.
so, yeah.
No, and I just think that's absolutely incredible that you guys get to go do this for one,
Oh,
because
man.
that's not an easy venture to be able to get something set up like that, and to provide food for everyone. That's amazing too. And you're doing this all through just raising funds through your charity work,
Right.
and which now that's Connect Ministries, correct?
Connect Ministries KC, yeah, and everything that we do, like even all of our books, anything anybody buys in our product, we don't take any royalties from that, any commissions. It all goes 100% into the ministry. Then the ministry pays us a modest salary, and we're taken care of, and we're blessed. But yeah, so everything that we do through our not-for-profit Connect Ministries. So even like the gig at Knuckleheads that we did last night, that all goes into Connect,
Wow.
and so after we pay the band, pay
Right.
the techs and everybody that's involved, but yeah, it all goes into that. But yeah, we have a small donor base of people that support us either monthly or on a project basis, and we're just extremely blessed to be able to do what we do. We have all kinds of stories. Since you guys are funny guys, I'll tell you one. We one
Well,
of
we think we're funny.
Yeah.
well, I wasn't going to say that, but now that you bring it up,
Yeah, we know. It's okay. We've come to terms with it.
yeah.
Yeah, we've
But,
made our peace with it.
I had a bass player playing with me, and it's the first time going in. And so you always tell people there's really three main rules. You don't give them anything, and you don't take anything from them, and you don't ask them what they did, because you do not want to know. And so, we were in this one facility for a couple of days. It was Christmas, and we were giving Christmas gifts away to 900 inmates. And we had been cell to cell to each of their doors, and we got done with it. But there was this kid that was helping my bass player out the whole time we were there, a couple of days. And, just guys hanging out, man. You're just hanging, you get close, you'd start, talking and sharing stories and everything. So anyway, so after we'd done this cell to cell walkthrough, this kid looks at the bass player and he goes, "So man, what'd you think? You got to see these guys up close. And so what'd you think?" And the bass player says, "Well, man," he says, "I look at some of these guys and it's like, what are you doing here? You don't belong here. What are you doing here?" Kid says, "Yeah." The inmate, he goes, "Yeah." He says, I get that." He said, "But there's some really evil men in this place." And then he broke rule number 3. He said, "So what are you doing here?" And the kid looked at him and he said, "Well, I was in the ministry and I took a break from the ministry and robbed a 7-Eleven."
No.
So don't be taking no breaks from the ministry.
Yeah, I was
Heck,
gonna
a
say.
7-Eleven.
Oh my goodness.
Stealing a plate of nachos is not worth it.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
I
saying.
see. I can, I'll find the money to pay for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Exactly. So no breaks for Mr. Bratcher and your lovely wife. Now she's also part of the Connect Ministries, and she just released a book too, didn't she?
She did, yeah. In fact, I have a copy right here.
Boom.
It's called "Sitting on the Deck" with Sherry Bratcher, because Sherry is famous for taking pictures of her shoes propped up on her fire pit on her deck.
Yeah.
And it's the craziest thing, man. I mean, people from all over the world are sending her a message going, "I want to come and sit on your deck and take a picture of my shoes on you." It's like, okay, whatever. So we convinced her to write this book. So it's "Sitting on the Deck with Sherry Bratcher, Finding Peace and Purpose in Everyday Moments." And it's a triple threat. So it's a devotional, journal, coloring book. And,
Oh wow.
And so it's 350 pages, almost all full color, but there are coloring pages in it.
Oh
And
wow.
Yeah.
we didn't set out with some grand plan to do that. Our artist and Sherry came up with the final component, which is the coloring book. And so the coloring book, so you read the devotional, you write in the journal, and all of these have a function of writing the truth on your heart. And then you disengage your brain by doing the coloring. So you can slow down your brain waves. You're not thinking about anything, and in joining information and emotion together, things write on your heart a lot quicker. So
Nice.
this thing's been doing great. She's actually doing a book signing a week from Saturday on the deck in the backyard. So
Oh really?
yeah.
Oh man.
That's incredible.
So do I get to come over and take a picture of my shoes up on the deck? And
Yeah, but I wouldn't advise it. As long as you keep your shoes on, you don't show your feet, you're okay.
yeah, no, yeah. Trust me, I'll leave my shoes on because we don't need
That's
that
like I
stuff.
have a no short rules for my band. It's like I don't want to see some old man up there with
Right.
bony legs and shorts, hairy legs and short, or fat legs and short. I don't want to see any of it. It's like put some clothes on those things, cover them up, man. You're not
We don't,
22, so stop it.
we don't need the chicken legs. Hey, wait a minute! I wear shorts all the time.
Not on my stage, you don't.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
That's why
fair
your
enough.
legs are under the table.
That's why you can only see from this side.
Yeah.
It's the safety clause we
Yeah.
have with the internet people. Now, okay, so, and I mean, I know you guys have written a lot of books. Everybody can go to JimmieBratcher.com to find all these books, your CDs, which had your last release was really doing good. Hey, is it still kicking up there, man?
That's been 2 years, which is amazing. And
Yeah.
and so it's run the cycle, but it hit number 2 internationally on the blues rock charts for
Wow.
radio play around the world. So
That's
for a
amazing.
minute, but hey man, a minute is a minute, I mean,
Dude, hey, number two is just hey, that means you're trying even harder than number one. So
well, I don't know. I'm just thankful that people hear it and somehow figure out that we're connected to the Lord and we're not goofballs.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah.
Well, kind of, yeah. That was actually a stated goal of our ministry when we started 25 years ago. It's like I think it was the number 2 thing was like be normal. So it was.
Quit being so goofy.
Quit be-
Hey, so everybody who's listening on the audio version of this, we've got Reverend Jimmie Bratcher. He's with us again. He's getting ready to embark on his tour starting off in May. You can go to JimmieBratcher.com, find out all the information about the tour, the dates, where he's going to be. You're basically kind of throughout the Midwest. You hit a little bit of the East and South,
yeah.
but you're basically out in the Midwest right now for the majority of the tour, which I looked at some of the places you're going to be at. It's going to be a lot of fun, and all of this helps benefit your charities through the Connect Ministries. You're doing you visit the correctional facilities with your captive audiences. Now, where did you get the idea to start going into all these correctional facilities and stuff? Was that just something that kind of God said, hey, I think
Well,
you need to be visiting these people, or how did that all
yeah,
come about?
right. Yeah, have you ever seen that picture called Footprints?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Where there's 2 sets of footprints and then there's one, and it's like the guy says, "Well, why was there only one here?" And the Lord says, "Well, that's where I was carrying you." Well, mine doesn't look like that. Mine's one set of footprints and 2 ruts where the Lord's dragging me into his will. It's not, it's like, here, come here. I want to show you something, but so a friend of ours in our church many years ago invited us to go to Leavenworth, to the federal prison there, Thanksgiving Day, and do an event that started Thanksgiving Day and went through Sunday. So it started on Thursday and went through Sunday,
wow.
and we just kind of got hooked doing that, just because once you get over the fear, and and you realize, hey, these are just people that really made some terrible mistakes in their lives. It really, you just figure out, hey, these are just folks like me that need a break. They need to know the truth, or there for the grace of God go I, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so that started an amazing event. Really, one story out of that is in those events, the chaplain's assistant, who was a resident. That's what they tell us to call them, as residents, not inmates. A resident at Leavenworth. He came to faith in Jesus there, and got out and had done a white collar drug, non-offensive, non-violent drug offense, and went to seminary. and ended up being the chaplain in one of the prisons that we go to this summer in Ellsworth,
Oh,
Kansas.
wow.
He's since moved to a different facility, but he and the warden petitioned the state of Kansas to allow them to form a not-for-profit. And they granted them permission to do that. They raised the money and built a church building inside of the walls of the prison with private money. It's called the Spiritual Life Center, the SLC. 230 seats, all kinds of classrooms. All faiths use it. It's not just a Christian faith, but all faiths use that facility. And the effect of that on those men is just absolutely incredible. But he was there in one of the first events that we ever did. But from that, those doors just continued to open to us. And he also opened a lot of doors. But we had early in our ministry started doing events with an organization called Operation Starting Line, which was overseen by Chuck Colson. If you remember who Chuck Colson is, he was the only member of the Watergate that went to prison.
Aha.
He
Yes.
was the chief
Okay.
counsel for Richard Nixon, and he went to prison, and he actually came to Jesus in prison, came to faith in prison. And when he got out of prison, he formed Prison Fellowship, which has been a big ministry in prison ministry. So we were invited to do a bunch of events with them and the Billy Graham Association and Promise Keepers that were all prison events. So we
Right.
take a team of about 100 people, of musicians, athletes, comedians, speakers, and ex-offenders, and we go do every state and federal prison in the state that we went to in about 5 days, 10 days time.
Oh, wow.
And that really kind of set the model for us being able to do these large yard events
Yeah.
where we go in. And the miracle of it is, one of them, like at Ellsworth, when we do Ellsworth, Kansas, which is June 12th, we'll have close to 900 men on the yard at one time, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Most of them, they'll let, like 100, like we've done 7 performances a day, just to reach all of them in small enough groups that they felt like they could manage.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, we say kind of the identifier for our ministry is that we have the ministry of showing up. And so we're just kind of out wandering around and we show up, and then a door's open or stuff starts happening. And it makes it very normal for us to be able to do that.
Now, for some of these large events, do you have there been any incidents in where, I mean, or has it been pretty tame
You
and
get
pretty
a
low
crowd
key?
that big, that's awesome.
No, you have to remember that there's a rule of law inside of the prison that's not overseen by the administration.
Yeah.
And anything that breaks up the normality of mundane time passing is very welcome. So if, for instance, if you were a resident that caused problems that caused the event to be canceled,
Oh, sure.
You would not be popular.
not a good thing. You would not be a popular dude in that place, that's for sure. So
Well, you would, but for the wrong reasons.
Right.
yeah, so they are on, typically they're on their best behavior, and they want, they want anything that's going to break up that monotony. And we do our best to, like, we take our A game.
Yeah.
We're not like, okay, nobody's, this isn't a public event, so what does it matter? But just like last night, I'm sitting there and this guy on the front row, I'm like, man, I know this guy. I just can't, you know how it is when you see people and they're not in the, like I'll see people at church and then I'll see them out in a restaurant. And I'm like, I know this person, but I don't know who they are or where, So I'm seeing this guy on the front row and I'm like, I know this guy. And we took a break and he walks up and he says, hey man, do you remember me? And I'm like, kind of, but I don't know where. And he goes, well, I was locked up and you came to visit me and I've seen 4 or 5 of your shows and I just got out. I got a good job and I'm doing great. And to me, it's like that. Those are the best things. But so
Yeah.
we haven't.
Yeah, dude.
We only had one instance where we felt like it was going to be a tense situation, but it was very quickly controlled by the staff and
Yeah.
administration. So, but it's it's all still always you got to have your faith
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
your angels guarding you kind of thing.
Well, I was gonna say it's like Daniel in the lion's den, you
Yeah.
got God there keeping everybody cool, and that's what it's about. Now,
Yeah,
the gentleman that you were talking about with the SLC,
right.
uh, um, which threw me off for a second because then I'm thinking Salt Lake City. But you said it's all sorts of different faiths. Now, is there any? Do you ever get any kickback or slack for you know being all encumbering in all different faiths, or is everybody pretty cool about the fact that, hey man, we're trying to help bring people out of the situation they're in.
I don't. I mean, one of the chaplains there might have some, more input to say about something like that.
Yeah.
We, I view everything that we do as using Mark chapter 4, which is the parable of the sower, as that's what we do. We're there sowing seed. Seed is
Yeah.
small.
Yeah.
It has a
Right.
big impact. And Jesus said there in Mark 4, I think it's 25 or 26, he says, the kingdom of God is if a man threw seed on the ground, went to sleep and forgot about it. And then he says, and then the blade comes and then the full head and then you harvest.
Right.
Our job is to throw seed on the ground. So our goal is that when we go into these places is, we want to have an influence, but we're really there just throwing a seed on the ground and hoping that these people they find something good in what we do, and they know that we're connected to Jesus. And
Yeah.
some of the best theology you can have is this. I shared this at this funeral that I did this week. Out of Genesis chapter 1, you have this image of God creating stuff, and everything that he creates is good. I mean, he gets done with it. He goes like, this is good. He creates mankind. He's like, this is very good. And the theology of that passes through that we need, a lot of people need to apply, because there's so much bad theology or bad religion about God
Yeah.
being, oh, it was an act of God, or, God took my baby or whatever. God only makes good things.
Yep. Yep.
And he's always consistent. He never changes. So if he made good things in Genesis 1, he's still making good things now. And having, getting that in people's hearts is really a revolutionary concept, because then they can judge for themselves whether it's God or not.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the thing, because the enemy's out there twisting so much of the truth.
Right.
And we have to be out there to represent and say, hey, you know what? Just because, it's like the internet. Just because Wikipedia says it's true, that ain't exactly right.
Yeah.
Go to the source, get back into the Bible, read the actual word, and find out for yourself,
Yeah.
And that, like you said, you're just out there, you're throwing the seed, you're getting things fired up, you're getting it ready to go, and then everybody else comes in, helps cultivate it and waters it.
Yeah. The Holy Spirit does what the Holy Spirit does.
Yeah.
And, and one other thing, and then I'll get off of preaching stuff. But in Mark chapter 4, we have all this, that dude was the worst farmer ever. I mean, the guy's throwing stuff in the ground. He's throwing it on the road. He's throwing it in the rocks. He's just throwing it everywhere. And then it's, but then there's the increase that comes, and it says that, when it got to the good ground, it was 30, 60, 100-fold return. And a lot of people, we just focus on that. But here's the key. Every seed in that story, something happened. Something happened with every seed that was there. It wasn't what we would like to have. It wasn't the result that we would judge as being great, but something happened in that seed. I had a tree fall beside my house a couple of years ago, and a friend came over to help me cut it up. And we're out in the yard cutting it up, and he points up to a gutter on the second story of my house. He goes, look at that. And there's a stalk of corn growing out of my gutter.
Oh my gosh.
It's
No
like,
way.
well, there's two stories there. Number one, you need to clean your gutters. And
Yeah.
I
number
was
two,
wondering why you had that leaky roof. Now you know.
number two is that seed's going to find a way to do something.
Yeah, there it is.
So
It's
we're
gonna
just,
grow where it can.
and really, we look at some of the most powerful tools that can really strip a person are shame and guilt. And we're really there to just express to these people, men and women, that they have value,
Yeah.
that they can, that things can be different for their life. And that's gotta be, it's gotta be something broad that helps, it really helps. So
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Now,
well, speaking of helping, go ahead, Andy.
okay. Yeah. So you mentioned this one guy at your show last night that recognized you from. How often does that happen, or do you? And then do you see a lot of people outside after they've seen one of your shows and said, "Hey, I was in there and this helped."
well, it's to stay in context, it's very random,
Mm-hmm.
but
Appreciate it.
Yes.
it's
We're gonna use that as a soundbite.
yeah, it's very random. But we had one. Well, I'll tell you a couple of those stories. We had some friends here from England, and anytime you come to Kansas City, you got to eat barbecue,
Right.
right? So we took
Yeah.
them to Arthur Bryant's, and Sherry likes ribs. And if you've never been to Arthur Bryant's, when you get a slab of ribs, it comes on a serving tray.
Yeah.
It's not on a nice platter; it's on just a plastic serving tray. And they might put some butcher paper down, but so I got this tray and I'm walking back to the table, and behind me, I hear this voice saying, I know that hair anywhere. And for those of you that are listening to the audio, I've got long hair and I'm 70 years old. And people say, why you got that long hair? And I say, because I can. And
Right.
I'm 70 and I can. But anyway, I turned around and started talking to this guy. I know, you're offended. So,
No, I'm just jealous. That's all it is.
so anyway, and I turned around and he says, man, you don't remember me. He says, but I was at so many of your times when you came to Leavenworth that I mentioned earlier. And he said, and you guys, you just don't know how much it meant for me to be there and how much you encouraged me. And he said, and I got out and I got this job here at Arthur Bryant's, and now I'm the manager. And I'm like, dude, you are rocking it. And just a few weeks ago, we were at a restaurant depot here in Kansas City, and Sherry and I were there, and this guy in the aisle, he walks up and he goes, I know you guys. He said, I've been to, many of your concerts. And, I said, well, where, what was going on? He said, well, I was in Ellsworth and I just got out last week and this is my first day on the job.
Oh, wow.
And he just got out. So we'll have occasionally we'll run into that, or we'll get an email or something from somebody that got out and is doing well, but it's just good to see it every now and then to actually see something happen,
Oh yeah, man. So. And you got to figure, even off that one person, there's several others that are right with him.
Well,
you just don't hear from.
We had a guy, and I've seen, we've been going to Ellsworth, for instance, since 2001. So every year, pretty much, and usually twice a year, once in the summer for a big yard event, and once at Christmas to pass out Christmas gifts. And there's a guy there, and a couple of years ago, they had shown a DVD of me and my daughter telling our story about meeting and reconciling and coming together to be a family. And but anyway, this guy came up to me probably 3 years ago, and he said, they're talking about letting me out, and I don't want to go. And he's probably been there 20 years, and he says, and I don't want to go. He says, I got nowhere to go. I got nobody to go to. I love my job. I love the people that I work with. And so when we were there this Christmas, he said, and we took Jessica and I, we went, and Sherry, we went to there and told our story. And he said, you know, it touched my heart so much. And I have a son that I haven't talked to for years and years. And he said, this Christmas, he goes, and he reached out to me, and he's come to see me, and we visited, we've forgiven each other, our relation. And this guy's got to be 60, 65, 70 years old.
Yeah.
And he says, and we've reconciled our relationship. And I just looked at him and I said, and now you've got a reason to want to get out of here and go build your family. And he's absolutely right.
Yeah.
And so you have a father now influencing his son, his grandchildren, all of this stuff that just really affects where our culture needs healing.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's what you get right down to the grassroots of it, man. And that's what it's about, because it just keeps going through generation through generation. And I mean, I had my grandparents were Baptist, but I mean, God-fearing people and stuff, and my mom, and then I strayed away, but I came back, and through the grace of God that I came back. I lived through it, what I did to come
Right.
back. And and that's one of the things one, if anybody out there ever gets a chance to hear Jimmie preach, they're great. I love hearing you give the word of God and perform, mind you. I love your performance, and when you're out there jamming. Now, when did you actually start playing music? Because I think that's one of the most powerful things that I mean, again, you preach a great sermon, trust me. But I love the fact the way you mix the music with the preaching. And when did you start playing music, and then when did you decide you're gonna bring all that into a mix?
Well, I started when I was about 12 years old. In fact, just let me step aside for a second.
Oh, dude, you're gonna have the
Here we
original
go.
guitar.
And my dad traded a 1958 DeSoto
Oh,
for this guitar and an
Wow.
amplifier that I have right over here on the shelf. And I played this last night, actually.
Did you
I've
really?
had this since I was 12 years old. And this is
Oh my goodness.
1966. And it's been refinished 3 times. I won't go into all this. It's been refinished 3 times, but this is the original paint. I mean,
wow.
so
Wow.
this paint right here is the original paint from the factory. It's not redone. Just it's a
Yeah.
long story.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he got me that, and that started me playing. And I found out I could, drugs and rock and roll, sex, drugs, and rock and roll things could happen. And so I, went away. But then when I came to Jesus, which was 10 years later, one of the first things that my pastor told me was, you got to quit playing that devil music. And it took me about 20 years to figure out he didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
But in that time, I raised my family, I raised my kids, and then I discovered there's only 2 kinds of music, and that's good and bad. And
Yeah.
and so anyway, so in 2000, then I started.
Sorry.
I started again in 2001. I did my first album, and I'm just today actually just released album number 14.
Wow.
Which is live. We recorded it at our church last year for my 70th birthday party. And
Oh, wow.
so the videos from that just started coming out today. And
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
so anyway, so that started that. But then I was pretty much in church because that's what I did. I was a pastor, short hair, wore suit and tie 7 days a week. Honestly, all the time.
Yeah.
And when we left the church where we were at, and we started traveling, I was speaking, and my music started to come back. Then I discovered that I could use my music with my preaching, and I could also use it outside of my preaching.
Yeah.
So I, through just a set of experiences that I talk about in my book, Don't Take Your Dreams to the Grave, I tell the stories of how that process actually took place. But again, it was one of those, I just showed up at a place and that guy that I met at that place opened the door that really got, well, shortly. So I was on a motorcycle trip in Mississippi, and we stopped at a place that's known for, it's called the Crossroads. If you've ever
Oh
seen
yeah, yeah,
Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, that
Yeah.
whole thing. We
yep.
stopped at a place in Clarksdale, Mississippi, marked as the Crossroads, and we didn't know where to go, so we pulled off the side of the road at the intersection on our motorcycles, and this old boy in a pickup truck pulled up, gnarly, long hair, ponytail, gnarly beard, gun rack, rebel flag. I mean, the whole
Oh, yeah.
thing. And he sticks his head out the window and goes, "Are you boys here to look at my town?" And we didn't know if he was the devil or what he was.
Like, whoa.
Yeah.
But anyway, but through a series of events, several months later, he gets elected to be the chairman of the first ever blues festival to be held at the Crossroads.
Oh, wow.
And
Oh, wow.
and he called me and said, "I want you to be the first band that we book." And so we went down, and we also the day before got to play at Morgan Freeman's club called Ground Zero in
Oh,
Clarksdale.
wow.
And it was an afternoon. They weren't supposed to be open. They found out we were coming. They opened up the club. I figured there'd be 2 people there, and so we're there, and we arrive, and there's 200 bikers drinking like there's no tomorrow, and here's church boys showing up, and I'd never done this
Hi
before.
guys.
I'd never done this before, and I have a song that's about the prodigal son story called "Love Running After Me," and it's a slow blues song, very personal. And at the last verse, everything stops, and it's just me screaming, "Jesus, Jesus, will you take me just as I am?" And we were coming up to that point in the song, and I thought, I could back away from the microphone and soft sell this, and nobody probably even hear it. And I thought, no, it's not what we do. So I stepped up and started screaming that. And all of a sudden, I hear chairs rattling. And I'm like, oh, man, they're rushing the stage.
Yeah, I was going to say, what's going on?
And what happened was, it was one of the shocks of my life. All these people stood up and started applauding because
wow.
I had mentioned the name of Jesus in that place. And that experience opened my eyes to say, well, I can do this anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't have to be confined to just be church culture. I can be at Knuckleheads and do what I do. And the key to that is if you really genuinely care for people and love people and you respect them and you treat them with respect, everybody wants somebody like that to speak into their lives. So
Yeah.
it's really, really simple, really simple.
Dude, that gave me goosebumps when you were talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. That I mean, I was just like the hair on the back of my. I was like, oh.
So from that experience, we've got to play in some really super unusual places. We played Sturgis Motorcycle Rally for years. We played, we played at the largest venue there at the Buffalo Chip. We opened for Willie Nelson. We opened for the Doobie Brothers.
Wow.
Willie Doobies, they kind of all go together.
Yep.
In fact, one of the performances that we were there, we had a special guest in the audience. Paul Rubens showed up.
Oh, no way.
What?
Yeah.
No way. That's very exciting. Yeah, I'd like to ride my hog around.
Yeah, he was the grand marshal of the Legends ride from Deadwood to the Buffalo Chip, and he showed up late one night. I think we were playing from like midnight to 2 a.m. or something. And he shows up, and but it's amazing to get to see that and just to be part of it. So
that's
incredible.
Wow, that is so incredible. Now, and with your music, now were you always playing blues, or did you do a lot of rock, or?
Well, I'm a rock guy. but
Yeah.
almost all rock's blues influence, so it's real easy to draw that root out of that.
Right.
But
Well, and you can hear it in your music. Yeah, you
yeah,
still got that
yeah,
underlying rock tone, but I
yeah.
mean, you start ripping out the blues on that, and it's just like, oh, come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever just kind of gotten lost on stage and just in the middle of a jam, just keep going, and the band's like,
Yeah, we
all right,
call that
Jimmie.
jazz.
But not smooth jazz.
No,
No.
Right.
no.
Uh,
Well, I had a thing for last night actually where it was just me. We were playing that song I just mentioned, the Love Running, and I, it's time for me to solo, and it's real slow, and it's real, and I went on way longer than I should have,
yeah.
but it's just
But if you're feeling it, man, you just got to go.
if you're feeling it, everybody else is going to feel it too.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that is so. Yeah. That just I dig that so much. Now, I had a couple of things I wanted. Okay, you mentioned a little bit. Again, you're very grassroots, which one of the things I just totally dig about you is the fact that you're down to earth, you're grassroots, you're not spreading yourself out all over the world. You're focusing on what's here in front of you and in your world as it is. You go and perform and help out the homeless. It's what's it called? Something under the bridge, night under the bridge.
Well, it's yeah, we just call it Under the Bridge at First and Grand.
Yeah, there it is. Okay. And now you go down there, you perform, you help feed the homeless, correct?
Yeah,
In
we
Kansas
work
City.
alongside another ministry down there called the Worship Wagon, and they're there every Monday at 6 o'clock under the bridge at First and Grand. And they have churches that do like our church does a week there, and they have 4 other churches, but we take the months that have 5 Mondays.
Yeah.
So, like we were there in March, we'll be there in June, we'll be there in September.
Right. And again, a lot of your stuff, is again charity based. You're working off donations and whatnot. And I'm not going to toot our own horn too much, but we've been working on raising you guys some money.
Oh man,
And we are working on trying to be a constant donor for you folks because we believe in what you do. Now, do we have a graphic for this
I
or?
did. Like Kristian said, we've been able to through our podcast host, through a sort of ad revenue share, we've started to generate a little bit of money.
fabulous.
And when I say little bit, I mean a little bit.
Yeah,
um, but it was important for Kristian and I to make sure that we gave to something that we both believed in. And through our conversations, the one thing that we kept coming back to was Connect Ministries KC.
Man, thank
Uh,
you.
so this graphic does not do it justice, but we are getting our little chunk of ad revenue every month, and we want to offer up a percentage of our revenue
Well, thank
to
you.
Connect Ministries KC every month.
That's fantastic. Wow.
and just
Appreciate that, guys.
over the past, well, what is it, 3 or 4 months now? I
Yeah,
think we've generated almost a little over $1,000
yeah.
that we'll be sending out to you folks, and then we're hoping if we continue what we're doing the way we're doing it, we should be able to do that almost every month after that point.
Wow,
Yeah.
man, that's huge.
We're very excited. We love what you guys do. We believe in what you do. The fact that you keep it at home where we need to fix where we live, and I just ever since I saw you a long time ago at the Rock, I was so impressed with you. Like I said, how you preach and how you mix your music with it and your music. I went and got a CD that night. I bought one of your books with the CD in it. Uh, I've always been so impressed with what you do, Jimmie and Sherry,
Thank you.
your wife. Um, And I know my wife loves Sherry to death.
Yeah.
She just thinks she's just the nicest, greatest thing since sliced bread. But you know, we want to be able to help you, and this is I know it's not much, but it's our small way of being able to help
Oh
because
man, it's so good.
you do so much good, man, and we really, 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 really
Well,
appreciate
thank
all
you
you do.
guys so much, and thank you,
Uh,
for being able to support us like that is incredible. And it just allow, the way that what it does for us personally is that when I get a request like this, because right now the majority of what we're doing is what I call non-compensating.
Yeah.
yeah,
So we can't sell anything, we can't take anything. And I believe it's important for all of us to have something like that in our life where we're giving of who we are and what we have. And we can't expect anything in return for it. It's just we're
right,
just doing this because we do it. But it just is it allows me to be able to say yes
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
and to not even think about it. Like
Yeah.
the bill for the food at the Chillicothe event on May 10th is like $6,500.
Yeah.
And I didn't even have to think about it. It was like, yes. And it's
yeah,
because of stuff like this that really allows us to be able to continue to just say, yeah,
Yeah.
right,
and go where we're going. So
yeah.
I appreciate it so much. And
Well, we need you to know that we appreciate what you do, and so many others are out there that
well,
that probably can't contribute but want
Yeah.
to. You can go to JimmieBratcher.com, find out where he's at, go see his show. If you can, give a contribution. Buy a book, buy a CD. All that you said it goes back into
goes
the
right back
ministry,
into the ministry. Yeah.
and which it still blows me away, that you do all that. That's so huge because nowadays, people, you know, um, again, we've been very, very blessed to become monetized,
Yeah.
uh, and yeah, we're not making mind-blowing amounts like millions of dollars like these other people, but we also don't perform to a niche. We do what we feel is right. We bring people on that we know are real and that do good in this world, just like you guys, and we want to be able to get that spread out in the world, and this podcast goes out all over
That's
and everybody
fantastic.
hears it. So that's why we want to keep bringing you back on and spreading your word that you spread, and just the gospel of God. And we can't thank you enough for all that you do. And this is just our
Yeah,
small way.
thank
Um,
you.
we both work, and we both work odd hours. So I'm not able to serve at the church the way I want to. So this is my way of giving to God.
And thanks.
Uh, and this is what it's all about. Now, I I did have one question. And by the way, your daughter chimed in here, Jessica. Thank
Oh,
you
did
so much
she?
for
Yeah.
yeah, she says, "Hey, that's my dad." So said that she loves you, and
Yeah.
uh, that's there she is right there, Jessica. Thank you so much for checking in on the show here. Um, and again, anybody listening at home, this is the Reverend Jimmie Bratcher, faith blues rocker, pastor, Reverend, a preacher. Go find him,
I'm
Jimmie
everything
Bratcher.
but a river dancer.
Yeah.
You're
Well, now I've heard rumors.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
listen.
I had one
Uh,
stellar performance and retired.
and it lasted like, okay, we're done.
It was long enough to impress my children.
Yeah.
And they were like, don't ever do that in
Yeah,
public, Dad,
right.
please,
Stop
please.
that. Please.
Um, so, and I know you had a big show last night, and I'm so glad you got to come on, take the time with us again today,
Oh,
Jimmie.
thank you.
We'd love to have you come back, and maybe next time we get you to come back, you could do a little jam for us.
Well, we can try.
I mean, we can see what we can work out, and I'd love to help spread your music out to the world a little bit more. So I think that might be a little fun if we could work something out. But again, I hear you're wiped out, you're tired, and I know you need to go get some rest. So I just want to thank you so much for being a part of this,
Well,
and
thank you.
you know,
Thank you, Andy.
we're so excited to just be a part of what you can do. So
Thank
thank
you,
you
sir.
again so much for being a part of this show, my man.
All right, man.
All right, brother. Thank you. We will talk to you again soon. You be good, and well, you're good. Yeah, I don't need to say that. You're as
What
good as
fun
we
is
get.
that?
Right.
Yeah. All right, Jimmy. We'll talk to you later, man. Thank you
Okay,
so
man.
much for being a part of the show.
Bless you guys.
Thanks,
All
Jimmy.
right. And all right. So Andy, this
Yes,
is
sir.
so weird without the soundboard. It's
I
so
know,
weird.
right? Yeah, I know. I can do it with the quiet in the background.
Don't to do with my hand.
It's just not the same.
Uh,
It's not the same,
no,
I know.
it's not. But yeah, dude, I seriously, I actually, Andy, look,
What?
I
That's good.
made notes.
No,
I made notes of the questions that I wanted to ask, and I only got two of them out of the way.
that's
And
okay.
I have another.
I'm still in shock that you're still online.
I know
Right?
they don't use Spectrum. That's why.
No, that's true. That's true. Hey, yeah, but no, it's incredible what he does, and just the fact that he was able to mirror music and the ministry together. Um,
Yeah,
and then just I mean, cracking that code of playing to prisons, you know,
dude.
and
And the people that I know there's some people that are like, oh, why are you going to prisons? They're just bad people. You know what? We all screw up, and I've been that guy. I've done
yeah,
my time. Now, have I done years in prison? No, but I've done months,
yeah,
and it wasn't fun, and you do have time to reflect in there. And I at a certain point I did change my ways,
yeah,
not as expediently as some others, but
right,
I did get better. And then I've been homeless. I
yeah,
have literally, I went from living in a house to an apartment to a storage shed in a car to the storage shed and then selling everything in the storage shed and living where I could for a while.
yeah,
Um, and so I know that struggle, and I know there's people that become complacent with it because they'd give up.
yeah,
And it's hard, and I've been down that road, so I know what it's like. So he's doing grassroots work. He's doing what where it needs to start. He's not helping out third world countries. Not that that's a bad thing. I'm
yeah,
just saying he's starting where we need to start. As a country, as a people, we need to help each other first.
yeah,
Then we can help others. It just, it starts in one thing and then spans and keeps going and going. Once you start doing it, it just the ripple effect. It's
yeah,
the stone in the pond, you
yeah,
know. And that's what he's doing, and that's what I love about it. So,
yeah.
uh,
I think this was in terms of the river dancing.
oh,
Yeah,
I was like, whoa, Jessica, wait a minute, what am I doing? I didn't know I had retired, but I am stuck in Watertown in some kind of weird Twilight Zone episode. So, thank you very much again for
yeah,
everybody who listens for this part of the show while we're doing it live. Remember, we're live pretty much every Friday, random Friday,
we're live.
4 o'clock Central Time.
Yeah,
And
next two Fridays are booked.
yeah, that's right. We've got Tom Coverly, and some know, some don't. Tom is a comedian, magician. And he also preaches to the youth. This guy is so entertaining. I just happened to catch him on a YouTube scroll kind of thing, and
Yeah,
I'm like, what is this guy doing? And I started watching his act, and then I got hooked, and I'm watching all these, and I was like, oh my gosh, and then he starts preaching. I'm like, wait a minute, he's also, ministering,
yeah,
and it was just so good. And I mean, he's ministering, and you don't even realize it,
yeah,
and which is the great thing, which, he's uh, it's almost how the internet seduces kids nowadays, and
sure,
he's doing it the opposite way,
right,
and he's taking them in the right direction, and it's just so fantastic. And
yeah,
he does a lot of charity work, so I think that, it's just great. He's on a busy tour schedule, but I've been working on him for months. We finally got him down to this date. So do not miss this next week. And if you got kids, trying to talk him into doing some tricks and stuff. So you might want to be, watching next Friday, 4 p.m. Central Time, which is 5 Eastern, 3 Central, 2 Pacific. It's gonna be a good time. I promise you that. And we got all sorts of other great guests lined up for the next month or so. We're working on more. So, and if there's somebody y'all want to see out there, shoot us a message at therandomchristianshow.com. Christians with a K, in case you're listening and don't know. Um, and we would love to hear your suggestions for people. We talk to people off TikTok, just people that are doing good out in the world. They don't have to be faith-based.
Yeah.
It's nice that they are, but we enjoy just good, clean comedians, just people who are, crazy Auntie Anne. I don't know if she's a God-fearing woman or not, but she's just having so much fun
Yeah.
and bringing joy to people, and that's what it's all about. Trying to make our world a better place. So we got that coming. I keep hearing rumors of some new show or
Yeah.
something.
So yeah,
Something's
they
going
told
on.
us somebody sent us this video.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, and it
What
was
would it,
really weird. So
should we show
see if
it?
anybody else. Yeah, yeah. Let's show that. Let's see if somebody else might know something about this. Coming soon
Coming soon.
to a pod site
ISN.
near you. ISN. Ice cream soon now? Oh, that would
I
be
know, because there
IC.
would be a C in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Isotopes serrated knives without the K?
Yeah.
No, that'd be a K. Well, we'll
Yeah.
have to figure it out. We'll have to keep watching and keep an eye out for this ISN.
Yeah. We'll see what's
It's
going on.
intriguing. There's a world globe involved. So for those of you listening at home, ISN
Just
coming
sent
to a
us a weird
podcast site.
video.
Yeah, we'll have to
We'll figure this
keep
out.
our eyes. Well, we'll have to keep our ears out because it's just an audio podcast.
I think so. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Interesting. Yes.
You know what's interesting? We have no exit music.
It's,
So
it's just weird for you. That's all.
it is. It's so weird. I'm
But
not
we have.
used to ending the show without
I
theme
know.
music.
We'll roll the end credits.
Oh, well,
That has the
that's got
music.
music.
Yeah.
So I guess we're done.
Well,
And I guess
so I didn't show you this last time, but remember I was telling you about the place where I get the cookie dough cake from?
yes.
So here's the cake wall. And that's
Oh,
a
my
third. That's a
goodness.
third of the case. There are
Oh
3 of these with
my.
different cakes in there, and you can get it by the slice.
I am very intrigued about the far right middle
So if you
cake.
look at the very bottom one is where the cookie dough is. There's only one
I
slice left.
see it.
I was there
Yeah, I was
earlier.
going to say. So basically, they left one slice there. You got the rest of the cake.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well played.
That is,
Well
no,
played,
there
Andrew.
are 2 other cases of that size with cakes in them.
And they sell it by the slice, do they?
They sell it by the slice. Obviously, you can order large cakes, but they do have smaller. They're smaller, taller cakes. They call them the 12-inch, but they're like thinner but taller cakes that you can buy straight from the case.
Yeah.
And
And now this is in Salem.
this is in Salem, yeah, and it's the champagne cake is the one that we get for our anniversary every year.
Oh, well, that's appropriate.
Right. Yeah.
Now let's go ahead and plug them. What's the name of this place?
It's Jerry Frank's Conditory.
Jerry Frank's
Conditory. Yeah, I'll see if I can find an image of the front.
Yeah, and
so Jerry Frank was a very popular person in Salem.
Cakery.
And so, here's a picture of Mr. Frank himself.
Whoa.
Let's see if I can figure out how to bring this over. And so he started this, and he recently passed away though. But he has. So yeah, this is the front of the place.
Look how happy that man is with cake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They have sandwiches during the day, and then cakes. Obviously,
and they make sandwiches.
Yeah.
Andy, I'm moving over.
Yeah, come out, and we will plant ourselves here all day. Have lunch.
Like we'll do a live show from there.
Yeah, we'll walk across the street to the there's a great steak place across the street to have dinner, but then come back for cake.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll just eat sandwiches and cake most of the day. Go eat steak afterwards, and then go eat cake again.
Yep. There's also a miniature golf place at the steakhouse.
Oh my God! You need to lead with that, Andrew.
I know.
Steak and mini golf.
Steak and mini golf, yeah.
And a cakery across the street. Would that make sandwiches? I'm moving. I'm telling my wife we're moving to Salem.
Well, that's if you can get out of Watertown.
Yeah, that's going to be the first trick.
Right.
Is to somehow escape the Hotel Watertown,
yes,
California, and you always check out, but you can never leave. Enter Joe Walsh.
Right.
And,
yeah.
Oh, good Lord. If I can get out of here by Tuesday, I'm finding a way to get out there. Well,
yeah.
After my wife gets back and everything, and I get to actually spend some time with her, and then we'll fly out there somehow. I'll hitchhike. I don't care.
Yeah.
I want sandwiches, cake, mini golf, and steak, and more cake afterwards.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, all right, kids. Well, we're going to go ahead and take off. Next week again, Tom Coverly, comedian, magician, be on the show. So be here with us, 4 p.m. Central Time. If you like what you hear, like, follow, subscribe. Find us on Spreaker, the podcast, iHeartMedia. Or listen wherever, but spread the word, spread the love, follow us along wherever you can, and until next time, be good to each other. We're all we got out there, so God bless you, take care of each other, and we'll see you next week. Hit it.